Hello and welcome to How Do You Drew?
This is a Drew Barrymore podcast brought to you by thedrewsium.com.
And sponsored by our friends at Positive Medium.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Ashley.
And we have a special guest.
I'm like drawing it out because there's someone else here. We have our amazing, long time Drewbie friend, Tess, here with us. Tess, welcome.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I've listened to every episode and I usually just feel like I'm hanging out with you guys, but like asynchronously. And now we get to hang out synchronously, which is so
I know.
fun.
That's so cool. So we have done that before. I guess we should tell like sort of the story of how we met, and then we can hear about your journey as a Drewbie if you like.
Sure.
We all met on the same message board. We've referred to it on this podcast many times. It was called The Grapevine. This was a Drew fan message board. We all met online and became real life friends, which is so cool. When did we first meet in person? It would have been when you were traveling in 2003. Is that right?
2003.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Oh, no big deal. Only 20 years ago.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God, it is. It's our anniversary.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So crazy. We've been lucky enough to get to hang out with you several times because you are a world traveler. It's just so cool to be here with you right now. Thanks for joining us.
When are you coming to Australia?
Oh, it's going to happen for sure. My husband has spent a lot of time there, and it's on the list eventually.
Cool.
One of the reasons we've got to spend so much time with Tess is that she lived in California for how many years was it?
10 years.
There you go.
Yep.
So I got to see you a few times when I went up to visit family in that area. And now you are back in Australia where you were when we met.
Yes.
Full circle.
Yes.
Exactly.
When we met virtually.
Virtually. Because as we said, you have not been here.
Yeah.
Yes. Not yet.
We have been trying to make this episode happen for a while. And because we are all in crazy different time zones, it's been a little difficult, but we are making it happen now. So I'm really excited.
Yes, we are. I'm winding down for my day. Tess is winding up for her day. It's very interesting. My cats are cuddling at my sides like, are you going to bed soon?
Oh, sorry guys. You got to listen to us jabber on for a while.
They'll have to deal with it. Okay, Tess, so we both want to hear a bit about your Drew origin story. About how you drew.
That was so slick. We nailed it.
Yeah, we did.
You're so professional. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think it was 1997 that I first became interested in Drew. I was trying to kind of think back on my origin story. And I remember it was that year because that was the only year that I did biology in high school. And I remember sitting in the biology classroom and my friend had like a small handful of clippings of Drew.
Oh.
Yeah. She never became a Drewbie though. But yeah. And I remember that I took some pictures to my hairdresser for inspiration for hair.
Aha, how appropriate with this
I know
episode topic.
We can get into that a bit later. But so I get told that I look like Drew a lot. And I kind of leaned into that. And my hair is also kind of a similar texture. I think hers is a bit more wavy. But a lot of the hairstyles that worked on her were also sort of worked for me. And that time we got huge moment. We got dial-up internet at home.
Oh my gosh. That did change the game.
It did. And I was one of the first of my friends to get it. And I found the Grapevine. How do we find each other back before Google? I don't even remember how I
guess we'd be searching on like
AOL or
Yahoo. Yeah. Or what was that one?
Netscape?
Yeah. What was the one that's like Ask Jeeves? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that I ever used that, but I feel like that's a fun reference.
I feel like I specifically used Jeeves to ask questions.
Okay.
I don't know if that's how you were supposed to use it.
I mean,
was Jeeves a Drewbie? Do you think Jeeves knew about
Jeeves? Like, girl, if you like Drew Barrymore, you got to head over to this website.
But yeah, the Grapevine was like, you guys have talked about it a lot, but there was just, a lot of it I would attribute to Missy. She's just the most kind and generous moderator. Like she really exuded this kind of Drewness. But there's something when I think about Drewbies, there's something about like the way that Drew is so friendly and bright and cheerful and like welcoming and everything, like something about her personality that kind of translates into the way that we all treat each other, you know, and it was just such a positive place to be. And now when I think about the internet, like this is the sort of early days of the internet, you know, when it wasn't that bad, and now some spaces on the internet are so bad, and I'm like, oh, I wish everyone could just be like the Grapevine.
I know we've tried to explain it, but I don't know if people who didn't experience it could understand. It was just how you said, this like little corner of the internet that was so bright and positive and like friendly, and we all supported each other in so many ways. Like it was so much bigger than just, oh, we all like the same celebrity, you know?
Right.
You described it perfectly.
Yeah, it was just, and there's just something about like Drew's sort of personality, I think, that kind of like made it like that. Like it wouldn't have been like that if, I don't know, if it was a different,
I agree.
somebody
else.
It
trickles down into all of us. That's why we like her. We're drawn to her.
We found our tribe.
Yeah, we did. We totally did. But a few other little snapshots of my Drew fandom. I worked at a theater restaurant, a comedy restaurant, and as a waiter, and we used to dress up as characters, and one of my characters was Drew.
Love it. What was what did you do to look like her?
I had this dress that was kind of like this vintage, you know, I probably still have it, but this cool like vintage sort of dress, and I wore like flowers in my hair, and you know, I had a name tag that said Drew, and I just like peace signs all the time and that sort of thing. And so people like, you know, and I spoke with an American accent, and so people sort of, you know, were like, oh yeah, you look like her. Do you guys know the Jim Rose Circus sideshow? Do you remember that?
No, it sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
It was pretty like old school, but this kind of traveling, you know, a show that you would go to, and it was all these like freaks, I guess, like circus freaks. And they had this guy, the Enigma, who was like tattooed completely in puzzle pieces. And
oh yes.
I went and saw that show, and it has these female sumo wrestlers was like one of the sort of acts in the show. And we were sitting right up the front, and at the end you could kind of go meet them. And these two women were just like, oh my God, you look like Drew Barrymore, like straight away. It was so funny. Just these random moments.
Oh yeah.
I was in Marie Claire as like a Drew lookalike, which we can share the picture of that.
Was the coolest.
Recently, like only last year, I was because I don't really get it anymore. I think just my, you know, I've matured and she's matured and whatever. But it was the funniest moment. I was at this restaurant with a friend, and our waiter was quite young, like probably, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 kind of age. She was sort of walked up to the table and had this weird look on her face. And she was like, you really look like this actress who's in this movie. And I was like, I think I know what you're going to say. And she was like, yeah, it's blended. And I was like, oh my God.
Random. You know, that movie she's known for.
And she couldn't even think of Drew's name, but she had just like seen Blended and thought that I look like her.
She's so young.
It's so funny to hear like Blended. Like I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't even think about that movie.
Exactly.
Oh
exactly. It's so funny. And she was like, oh, and I thought it was her, but when you spoke, you didn't have a lisp. So I knew that it wasn't her. And I was like, okay. And also I'm Australian, you know, like this is in Australia. But like so random. Yeah. Anyway, so a couple of other little snapshots that were funny. But I wanted to also quickly, because I know I've been talking for ages, but my Drew encounters.
Yes. Yeah. Important. Yes. Let's hear it.
So my Drew encounters, my first one was 2003, was the Charlie's Angels Full Throttle premiere in Sydney. And I sort of turned up at the red carpet really early to get, you know, prime position.
As we used to do.
Yeah. I don't even remember how I knew that it was happening or anything like that. I don't remember any of that at the time.
Isn't that amazing? We always talk about that. We're like, how did we even know this was going on?
Right. I just really don't know. But I had a handmade Drew shirt, which was because I used to like get those things that you printed on and then ironed onto t-shirts.
Yeah.
And I think it's the pictures I think they're from Playboy, where it's like a bunch of kind of candid black and white pictures of her sort of slightly different poses and stuff. Yes. So I had like 3 of those that I liked. And so I put those on the t-shirt. I had a flower in my hair, you know, but I was waiting there, and then some other Drew fans appeared, you know, so I kind of met other fans there, like local sort of fans.
So cool.
Rebecca, who had like traveled up from Melbourne, and there was some other sort of Sydney based ones. So yeah, it was really cool.
Tegan, I remember her.
Tegan was there. Yeah. So, and Cass was another one. And it like, there was no Cameron or Lucy fans, you know, like it was,
that's kind
like,
of
no disrespect to them. I love those women, you know, but it's just interesting, like, what Drew does to people that like,
right. The passion is a little different when it comes to her.
Yeah. And I had made her this like beaded necklace and like written a little card and had it in a little gift bag. And I brought my copy of Little Girl Lost. So anyway, they arrived on the red carpet. Tegan got like immediately overcome with emotion and started like bawling her eyes out. And I just got like affected by that. And so like I started crying. But I remember the moment that Drew could like, she really wanted to come over to us, but Chris was with her and other sort of, I don't know, whoever they were, like publicists or whatever. And they were, you know, no, you have to walk the gauntlet of the red carpet. You can't approach your fans. So I have a bunch of photos of her like kind of pointing at us and like, you know, and I remember that she said to Chris, like she pointed at me and she was like, the one with the shirt, and like sort of indicated the shirt. And so Chris came over to me and I gave him the gift bag with the necklace and my copy of Little Girl Lost, and she signed it. So I have a picture of her signing it as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was really amazing. But yeah, we ended up on Entertainment Tonight. Not like, you know, they asked to interview us or something, but they showed like, they were like, oh my God, these crazy Drew Barrymore fans who were crying on the red carpet.
Am I remembering right? I feel like I might even have like a newspaper clipping of her pointing at you guys. Is that familiar?
Maybe. I mean, I have a photo of that. I don't know if there's a newspaper clipping, but yeah.
Okay, I gotta check my book.
But my mum was mortified because I was like, not just entertainment. It was like this really quick snippet on Entertainment Tonight, but also like our news. And it was literally like, because Australians don't really do that kind of thing. Like we don't get all giddy and excited about a celebrity like that. And so, yeah, it was like this whole like crazy girls like crying about Drew Barrymore. Yeah.
Like national news.
Right. And my mum was just like, oh my God. She was so embarrassed.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was so funny. And then I remember, so it was like, especially because Tegan was crying so much, like you could tell that Drew was really affected and really wanted to come over to her and stuff, but just wasn't possible. So we kind of hung out for a bit after they went inside for the premiere, and somehow found out that they were filming Rove Live the next day. And I don't even remember how we found that out. Yeah, because normally that's filmed in Melbourne, but I guess because they only came to Sydney that it was filmed there. So we actually like went to the taping the next day, and we didn't have tickets or anything. But
about that.
Yeah, we managed to get in. Again, don't remember how we did, but it was a few of us that had been at that thing the night before. And Tegan got a seat kind of closer to the front, but we sat right at the back. And then during the taping, and you can still, if you watch the episode now, you can still hear like when they mentioned the night before, and we're like, woo! In the audience. And then as soon as they cut to an ad break, all three of them were like straight away were like, okay, so you guys were there last night. Yeah, we remember you. And they were chatting to us. And it was like Rove was kind of sitting there like like, why aren't you talking to me? But they were just, really wanted to talk to us. And Drew ended up going and hugging Tegan in the audience.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Anyway, so yeah, they had remembered us. But then later in 2003 is when I went to LA and I met you and Jolena.
I forgot it was the same year. That's a trip.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. And I remember that when I first met you, we went to Paquito Mas and like we're hoping to see her, to bump into her casually.
Always. Every time we went there, we're like, maybe this will be the time.
And to the Flower Films office as well. You took me there and we like stared longingly from the outside.
Not weird at all.
Not at all.
And another day that I was there with Jolena, it was just the two of us. We were walking around Hollywood and we saw these huge signs that said Drew and had like an arrow pointing. And it was like, Jolena was telling me they're sort of like signs they put up when they're filming something.
Yeah, the yellow ones.
Yellow ones, yep. Well, we followed the signs. So we're like, we're like, surely
you kind of had to.
But we kind of had to. And we're like, okay, Drew this way, Drew this way. It was Drew Carey. He was like meeting people on the street. Like, yeah, it was hilarious. I don't know. He was like, people
incredible.
Yeah. And we're just, so we turned the corner and we're like, oh, it's Drew Carey. Never mind. And then we just leave.
I do not remember that story, but I love it.
I
So
also
funny.
just reminded me that I think Holly had a license plate that said Drew fan, and I think people always thought it was Drew for Drew Carey.
I mean, come on, who would do that? No offense, Drew Carey, but again, I don't think he elicits the passion.
Do you think there was a Drew Carey message board in 1997?
Yeah, right. Kind of doubt it.
There probably was. Come on, let's give Drew Carey a little bit of credit.
Totally.
But I love that you guys followed the signs. I think I'm like vaguely remembering that story.
Yeah, it's such a big.
So good.
What else could we?
It.
We couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we have to follow them. You know.
Oh, we would have to. Come on,
Yeah.
like,
No question.
we all
I know.
would have
Okay,
followed
and
the
then
signs.
you met her again more recently.
I know.
Share that story because I barely remember this.
Yeah. So, well, it was 2015. So I was living in San Francisco. We lived there from 2011 to 2021. She was coming to town for a book reading and signing for Wildflower. And
Okay.
I just saw, I guess I saw that was happening. And so I bought a ticket. And then I think I told you two about it. And I was just like, oh, hey, I'm going to see this, you know. And you were both like, please hold. And you reached out to Chris and said, yeah.
I do not remember this. It's crazy. Okay. I'm going to take credit, but
I remember it.
Yeah. You reached out to Chris and you were like, oh, there's this longtime Drewbie friend that's going to the event. And like, can you do anything special for her? And then you were, you know, you got back to me and you were like, you know, I don't know if anything's going to happen, but he said to just come and find him at the event. So I said, great. And by that stage, like it's 2015, I've kind of, not that I've moved on from my Drew fandom, but like I don't collect clippings, you know, anymore for a long time. I'm just not, it's not like the kind of obsession that it used to be, but
you've matured.
Yeah. I haven't stopped liking her, but it's
still a formative part of your life.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so and I went with a friend to that thing who had no idea about my history with Drew. And so we were on the way there and I was like, so I need to just tell you something.
Oh.
Kind of a really big Drew fan and there's a chance that we might get to meet her tonight, but I really don't know what's going to happen. And I remember she was like, oh my God, I didn't even put lipstick on. And
you're like, last time I saw her, I ended up on the news crying. So
can only go up from there.
Yeah, totally. So she was like, amazing. And anyway, so we got there, then eventually like Chris and some other people came in and like sat near the front and it was still a few minutes till it started. So I just sort of ran down the aisle and I was like, Chris, hi, I'm Anne and Ashley's friend and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh yeah. Like straight away was just like, oh yeah, come and see me at the end. And so
oh my
like,
gosh,
right.
that's so Chris.
Yeah. And so at the end there was she was signing books on the stage. So there was this sort of line to go and sign books. So again, I went up to Chris and I was like, hey, remember me? You know, and he was like, oh, just hang out until the end of the signing and then sort of, you know, just hang out and I'll see what I can do kind of thing. So we're like, okay. And so we did the signing line, which is just like the fastest thing.
Oh
ever,
yeah.
you know?
Yep. I'm familiar. We all are.
You don't get any time to do anything.
Yep.
And then at the very end, there was other people sort of hanging around, sort of, I guess, hopefully, you know, but
right.
So we're also hanging around and then Acton just beckons us onto the stage again. And we went backstage with just Chris and Drew and us two. And into like the green room. And yeah, we got to hang out with her for it was at least 5 minutes. I don't know, time kind of stopped, but
of course.
Managed to have quite a conversation. But then she had to go like sign a whole bunch more books for the bookstore. And she was also, you know, Chris had this armload of sort of gifts that other fans had given her. And some of them were like, she was really touched by like this one. I remember that they went into a lot of effort to sort of put all these photos and things in a book and like flick through it. And, you know, she was really touched, and she really wanted to appreciate everything that she'd been given. Yeah. So it was really cool. And like right away, she was just like, oh my God, you're Drewbies. And she said that we were, I remember she said we were hippie and stylish. And she was like, you're from Central Casting for Drewbies.
What? Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah.
I freaking love that. Yeah. I don't know why I have this huge blank in my brain about this, but that is so fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I remember like a surprising amount of details. Like I'm surprised.
Well, we've like switched roles, Anne.
I know. Well, I got all of this from my message that I sent you guys at the time. So
nice.
Yeah, I had definitely told you all about it. But But yeah, for people who don't know what central casting is, it's like, where they get extras from and they're like, we need people in this kind of style. And it's like a type casting sort of thing. So she was basically saying like, all, Drewbies are all hippie and stylish.
You're the epitome of a Drewbie.
And I had written her a card because I didn't know how much time I would get to talk to her. And I also didn't know, I thought I'd probably blurt out something really stupid and then be on the way home and be like, oh, I didn't say the thing,
Yep.
So I gave her this card that I had like written kind of meaningful stuff in. But I just wanted to say to her that, like, similarly to what I was saying before about how her positivity and attitude was like the catalyst for this incredibly positive and supportive community that we had. And she was really touched, and she was like, that's exactly what I'm trying to create with the Flower family. And it was like she was including us in the Flower family. So
I mean, we basically, right? We basically are.
It was very cool.
I also
I
love that we were like, we helped you get that experience.
I know. I'm
like,
so impressed with past us.
But the fact that we made that connection with Chris Miller really, like,
oh my gosh. The fact that you did at your first book signing, you set it all up. You laid the groundwork. So good job, man.
Yeah, but he, it still took a couple times before he like really got that we were like trustworthy,
True.
like good people. Because I think about that, like, how did he know to trust us? I don't know. It's like, I guess we exuded the Drewbie cast.
Yeah, we had that central casting look.
Like, they're okay. They're kind. They're friendly. But I love that ended up having that experience for you, Tess. That's so cool.
I was just like, I was so appreciative. I couldn't believe it. And everyone, like other friends, when I shared the picture that I got with her, like other friends were like, oh my God, how did this happen? And I was like, I have some really good friends. It's really hard to explain. Aww. Like it's a long story, but
yeah, it is a long story. Is it okay if we share the photo of you guys on the episode page?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yay.
And I have a bunch of other photos of like some moments of my Drew life, and they're kind of embarrassing to share because some of them are a bit cringe, but like I'm like, I was thinking about it and I'm like, I'm 42. Like I've come to give my younger self a lot of grace,
Yeah, I love that.
I was just going to say, like, you probably couldn't have had that like 2015 meeting with her and had that mature moment if you weren't like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been exactly like that. I feel like, I don't know, there's something so perfect about the timing, even though the super fan in you years before would have loved to have that experience. Like,
but it was definitely a full circle. It was a full circle moment, I was like,
you were a mature person,
Yeah. And it was sort of like, felt like it closed the book a little bit, like.
Yeah. And I love that Chris, like in both versions, like he had to kind of keep her away the first time. And then the second time he was like your entry. It's so great.
That's so true. Yeah. But yeah, like I was looking through these old photos of me and I was like, oh my God, like I feel so embarrassed, but also I'm just,
we all have those.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be like, my heart goes out to that younger version of me, like she was pretty cool. Like I look at some of those outfits I was wearing, I'm like, I'm pretty cool.
You are pretty cool. That's why we're so happy to have you here.
I've always thought you were so cool.
You've always been cool.
Anyway, that was the longest origin story ever. Sorry.
It was so delicious. You had so many fun details. I mean, obviously I needed a refresher. I don't know what is wrong with me.
And now our audience, if they don't know you, I'm always curious how many people out there are like grapevine buds and how many people are strangers. For those of you that don't know Tess, now you do.
I know. Hello, Grapevine fam from back in the day, and new friends as well.
Oh, love that.
Howdy, Drewbies.
We want to tell you about our sponsor, Positive Medium. We've actually been clients of theirs for at least 10 years, and they take care of all of our website needs for thedrewsam.com.
They offer custom web design and professional coding, search engine optimization, marketing, and hosting. So we've been hosted by them, but we've also been able to take advantage of a lot of their expertise in these other areas as well.
Absolutely. So customer service is the biggest draw for us with this company. They have saved our site literally from obliteration quite a few times. But then they also help us with minor issues in just like literally a matter of minutes. So if we have like a coding question or just like something on the back end we can't figure out, we reach out to them and we get an answer back and the issue is solved within moments.
We're so excited that Positive Medium is allowing us to offer our listeners 25% off managed WordPress hosting plans using our promo code DREW, DREW, of course. And if you want to take advantage of this, visit positivemedium.com. We really, really vouch for these people. They've been so great to us and will continue to be great to us. I can only imagine.
I mean, they're great by offering this to our listeners. So take advantage. Again, it's promo code DREW, of course.
All right. Are we ready to get down to business?
Sure. Let's do some business before we do some more fun with Tess. Although, Tess, you can chime in wherever you'd like here.
Yeah.
I can be part of the business.
Yep, you're part of the business. You're a business partner.
All right. Ashley, start us off. What do you have to tell us about at the top of the episode?
Okay, we have finally set up a Patreon. You started it a while ago with a couple of our projects. We've started and then we're like, we'll get to this later. Well, I finally pulled the trigger and made it live. We don't necessarily have prizes or what do you call them?
Perks.
Perks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Quite set up yet. We have the opportunity to just do $1 a month. That's the first tier. We don't necessarily know what we'll do with that yet, but if you're listening and you like us and you want to support us and you can afford $1 a month, hey, why not? We'll throw you something fun later on. And then we also have a second tier. I think that's $5 a month. And one of the things we'd like to offer with that one is maybe to do some live movie watches with us. So anyway, go over to patreon.com/howdoyoudrew and see if you want to become a member.
Woo! We're trying to make this our living,
Well, we were saying
$1 at a time.
We're doing it full time and not getting paid and have full-time jobs and other responsibilities. So, and every little bit helps.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so what else?
The only other thing I want to mention is kind of like a random tidbit is I don't know if you've noticed, but Drew has been wearing the cutest little gold turquoise heart necklace on the first week of season 4 of the Drew Barrymore show in every episode. It's so cute. I reached out to her stylist, Lee Harris, and he's always very generous with information. And he let me know it's by Jennifer Meyer. We will include a link to buy it. It's only $1,550 and I need 1,550. So might not be getting it, but
well, if we get 1,550 subscribers,
there you go.
And that money goes straight to your bank account. It's possible. It's not impossible.
All right. I like how you're thinking.
It is a very, very cute necklace. It's very Drew. I don't know. It just pops. It's so cute.
I love it. It's so cute. All right. Just wanted to mention that because it's really been catching my eye. And thank you to Lee for letting us know the brand.
Yes, as always. Okay. Then I see that we have a segment back that we haven't had in a while. Woohoo! Yay! What did Drew proclaim her love for in the past week?
I love love.
Okay, so I got into season 4, let's go. I'm going to have a big old list. And I think I even texted you 24 seconds into the first episode. Boom, boom, boom. There's 3. I was like, yeah, we're off to a great start. And then there weren't that many more. So I don't know if she's aware and she's feeling self-conscious that we're tracking these. I'm kidding. But here's what we got. So Drew loves, this is all part of one thing, eclectic, collected, and homey as a design style.
I was just going to say that feels like my home.
Yeah, it does. She also loves home goods, a Smithsonian.
Like a museum?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Miss Manners.
Miss Manners as in what? Just
that advice column, Miss Manners, what's the proper etiquette for XYZ?
Okay.
And that's all we got this week. Let's hope next week she's getting a little more out there with her proclamations of love.
Yes, Drew, we want to hear what you love. Don't be shy.
It's good to have that segment back though. I'm really excited.
I also love just talking directly to Drew as if she's listening. I mean,
do that all the time.
One day she will be listening to only us. Wait, that sounds like I'm going to trap her. Oh, I'm sorry, Drew. Okay. So also another segment we haven't had for a little bit. What did you pull for our Drewism of the week?
Oh, someone's picking up, those cool little isms that we do.
Yay. Again, so happy to have the show back because now we have all this great material to pull from. So on the Drew Barrymore show, there was a segment. It's called Take Care Down There. Yes, it's with the gynecologist, and it's really fun and good information. And they were talking about the different shades that your period can be. And that pink kind of shows that things are starting to show up. So here's what she said.
This is the
knock
reminder.
at the door.
Exactly. The gentle knock at the door.
The pink ding dong.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
And then she's like, wait, that does not sound good. All right. We've got some mail this week as well.
You've got mail.
So I pulled this comment. It's not really for the podcast. It's more for the Drewism side of things. But I just felt like somebody was really picking up what we're putting down as far as our sort of mission statement with the Drewism and our collecting. This was on an Instagram post that we did with a really cool, speaking of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, a picture of Drew and Lucy on the set of that we own. And this is at Original PSP, left a really nice comment about it.
Okay. And they said, I'm glad that a photo of something like this was taken in the first place, as it predates the era of, quote, everyone has a camera on them, unquote. But then I'm more glad that it didn't rot away in a random drawer or box or get thrown out, instead making its way to someone who will cherish, preserve it, and share like this. Keep doing what you do, smiley face.
So cool.
Yes, that's like our whole thing.
I know. I was like, yes, that is what we're all about. That you totally get it.
We literally don't want it to rot away. That's our goal. So all of you out there, that
subtitle,
just
the Drewism : we literally don't want it to rot away.
Also, if you have, like photographs of Drew that are in boxes that might rot away in your home, send them our way.
Yeah, and that is not a joke. Reach out. hownewdrewpod@gmail.com.
Send us your shit.
That's also our other subtitle.
Also, tidbits galore.
With so many different facets.
All right, so what do we have for this week in Drew history?
All right, let's go back. Not that long ago, but it kind of is. So October 25th, 2015.
Ellis Beans.
I know. Oh my gosh. Drew attended the Miss You Already New York premiere. And I'm kind of just realizing this might have been her last movie premiere that she ever did. I don't think there's been any after this.
That's a good point.
Well, I guess Santa Clarita Diet did have some, but as far as a movie, anyway, weird.
That's really weird.
So she wore this really sexy plunge dress that she actually used in the November 2015 issue of In Style. And I'm kind of guessing that she liked it. And she's like, oh, can I go borrow this on the red carpet? Or maybe she even kept it. And this was kind of I remember noticing, speaking of Blended, that right around the time Olive was born and Blended was going on, that she stopped wearing anything that was below the neck.
Yeah. I feel like you have always pointed it out to me, Ashley. So I've noticed it because of that. And I feel like it was only last season of the show where suddenly we're seeing her chest again. And it's oh my God.
Yeah. And so I remember when she wore this, it was whoa, how exciting. We got to see your chest, Drew.
And
I really love this dress.
Me too.
It's so
something beautiful. I would wear.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you would totally rock this dress. With the flower embroidery, all different types of flowers too. Oh, it's gorgeous.
This is also around the time that I met her. I met her in November.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, good point. I was going to say though, when you were kind of showing options for this date for this week in Drew history, some of them were older, and I was like, we almost never do anything that's quote unquote recent. And then I'm like, this is quote unquote recent, and it's 9 years ago.
I know, what the hell?
What?
It is a Stella McCartney dress.
Oh,
that's cool. Drew's friend, Stella McCartney. Awesome.
No wonder I like it so much.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and also she attended this with Will, and I feel like it might have been one of the last things they attended together. I feel like all the divorce news had a photo of them together at this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also Will's mom and sister were there as well, which is fun.
It's sweet that she was being supported by them.
Yeah.
Okay, so since the show is back, we've got a couple more things. What's new with Drew?
Okay, so just as of yesterday, this is the date we're recording is 10:20. So you're hearing this a little later, but she was in Austin, Texas. I'm assuming it was with the show. They looked like they were filming some segments. She was there during previews ahead of the F1 Grand Prix of the United States at Circuit of the Americas. That sounds like gibberish to me, but it sounds like your man was excited about this, Anne. Yeah.
Sure was. Yeah.
Worlds collide.
Yes. Yes.
That's cool. He was like, I can relate right now with you.
Yes.
She talked with Sergio Perez and Christian Horner. Again, don't know these guys, but other people are excited about it. So
I think they have something to do with the Red Bull team. That's one thing that I got out of it. And the little outfit that Drew's wearing in it, they like gave her a what do they call it? Pit stop?
Like pit crew
outfit. Yeah. And it has like the Red Bull logo on it. So Jared's going to be like, wait, why didn't you talk about Sergio Perez and Christian Horner? I'm going to be like, that's not what the podcast is about.
We want to talk about that she's in a racing suit, just like in Charlie's Angels, one of the best scenes of Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Talk about plunging neckline, that one.
That's a very plunging neckline. That may be one of the most plunging necklines without just completely having her top
being
off.
topless. The other thing I just wanted to mention, in case anyone missed it, there's this really sweet video on the Drew Barrymore Show Instagram. We will attach a link, but there was a flight attendant in the audience, and she said that Drew had been on her flight 4 years prior, and Drew was having like a really, really hard time, and they went into the airplane galley together and just cried together. And Drew like came and joined her and sat next to her in the audience, and they had this amazing emotional moment, and the show shared it. And Drew was talking candidly about how she had been quitting drinking at this time. And it's just a really, really nice moment. And it was really cool to see. I got pretty teary myself.
Yeah, it was when they show the angle that they show Drew like listening to her, you just see her face just like start to, wrinkle into the like gonna start crying thing.
Yep.
It's a very sweet clip and very Drew. Just very. Like I love that they show her.
Those are my favorite.
Approaching the audience.
Yes, those are the best clips.
Yeah. It's really sweet.
She's always been so like that. Like it makes me think of when I was talking about the premiere in Sydney.
Yes.
Earlier, where she wants to approach her fans. She's like, whatever, press. I will just go chat to my fans, and that really seems to be like where she gets her joy and her energy from. So I can see why she wants to do that so much.
Yep. Aww. And just she wants to connect with people,
Yes. What a great observation. So true.
It's like if people want to connect with her, she's like, they love me. I've got like I wonder, I've had people tell me like, of course she's nice, she's a famous person. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not. She's like,
if only it were that simple.
Yeah. And actually this next segment, I think we have a lot of examples that kind of exemplify what we're talking about a little bit. So you have pulled a whole bunch of fun stuff for the kind comments corner.
Well, these were all from the comments on this video. And, the internet hasn't been super kind to Drew in the last few months. So I thought it'd be really refreshing if I pulled a few. And let's, why don't you take the first one and we can switch off.
Okay. So at DV Carr said, this right here shares how quote unquote human Drew is. And when I say human, I mean the vulnerability and the act of owning it and sharing it and helping others own and share their truths and denials. She resonates in my soul.
So sweet.
Us too.
Yeah. And then at Fitness and Puppies said, this is why I love you. You are such a pure soul and you are beyond genuine and open and amazing. You radiate true love and you're such an amazing soul, Drew. This is beautiful.
And then the last one you pulled from March Lunaire said, Drew is the kind of person that listening to her makes you want to be a better person.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Deep same.
I know. I'm like, that is so true. And I've definitely talked about that. Like part of what I feel like I've taken away the most of being a fan from her, besides the friendships with people like you guys, is like, it has made me want to be like a happier, nicer, more thoughtful person.
I think you've literally said almost exactly that, Ashley. Like that there's something about like you already have the natural like desire to be kind and thoughtful, but there's something about like loving this person that it's like I feel like you can't be a Drew fan unless you take some of that away from it. Like, I don't know.
Not to gatekeep or anything, but agreed.
You can't.
You cannot.
You're a jerk. Get
You're
out
out
of
of
here.
Did we really both just do that voice? Weird.
Okay, so I'm so excited. We've reached the point to talk about our weekly topic.
All right, let's talk hair. Woo!
Let's talk
Yay.
hair.
First, I just want to get out the gate saying we are not going to chronologically go through every single one of Drew's hairstyles. We have actually already done that on our website. It's at thedrewseum.com/hairstyles. So we will send the link to that in the episode page. We actually haven't updated it since November 2014. Whoops. But she hasn't changed her hair that much since then, let's be honest.
Yeah, we'll do it at some point, maybe.
But we do want to talk about like our personal favorites and maybe some that inspired us over the years, and just like a general fun conversation about Drew's hair, especially with Tess, who has been so inspired by it.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with our favorites, and we're going to sandwich our guest between us. So, Ashley, I'm going to have you start
I
about.
love it. We're like the pieces of bread, and Tess is the yummy middle.
Tasty.
I'm glad you didn't say meat.
I
but
almost did. You know, I almost did.
the yummy middle.
Exactly.
Tess is the peanut butter. Ashley, do you like peanut butter?
I love peanut butter.
Okay.
Mm.
Tess, do you like peanut butter?
I love peanut butter.
Okay. Do you
All
want to
right.
be our peanut butter today?
I would love to.
Oh my God. This is a dream come true. Okay. Ashley, let's hear about your favorite hairstyles.
Well, we tried to keep it like down to a few. Obviously, we could go on and on and on. The ones that immediately came to mind, that's what we're going to go with for me. So of course I have to have the 1994 blonde curls. We just talked about Boys on the Side a couple of episodes ago, and her hair in that. And I think that is really like quintessential 90s. So many girls copied it, not me personally, but that is like cutesy, woo-woo bouncy, as Drew said about it. And I think of like the cover of YM, like, you know, this is like such a good 90s cute Drew hair. I also loved the late 1996, the kind of flippy straight red that she had when she was promoting Scream. Maybe that's why I love it. And then that split second at the very beginning of 1997 where it was platinum for like a day when she went on Oprah.
So random.
Literally like a day. We've only seen one day that she had this platinum, really cute hairstyle on Oprah. So, man, and I wish there was footage of that out there on the internet. Can you believe there's not?
Oh my God.
It's such a good appearance. Anyway.
Let's not talk about all the stuff that's missing from the internet.
I know. She also promoted Scream at Planet Hollywood that same day in Chicago. So again, maybe that's why I like it. I've always loved the Oprah one. And then my last shout out is going to be for the 2010 ombre waves during Going the Distance promo. She wore a lot of like cool braids in her hair at that time. And that was just a vibe I was really into.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised by the red and the platinum for you, but the other ones I'm not surprised by at all.
Yeah, they just kind of hit me last minute where I was like, oh, I want to give some love to those.
I'm actually almost surprised that you didn't say the 2004 like extensions blonde.
Well, I have a reason for that. That's because I'm kind of talking about that later on.
Oh, okay. All right, Tess, let's hear about some of your faves.
Come on, peanut butter.
Yeah, so looking at this timeline, because I was having trouble placing all of the, you know, one thing I think about Drew's hair, does her hair grow really fast?
It must. Yes, you are so
like,
right.
Oh my God, like one day it's short, one day it's long. And like maybe some of the photos were sort of taken at a different time and only released at a certain time or whatever. But I just always used to think that I'm like, God damn it, I just cut my hair short to be like hers and now her hair is long. So yeah, but I love, and it was such a short, short hairstyle, but also for a short period of time. The one April 1997 that's on the timeline where it's like short bangs and like textured and short.
Yes.
Is like, I really like that one.
Like the cover of Jane. Is that like, yeah.
Yeah. But when you look at the surrounding hairstyles, it's like, that looks so different. It's like, how did she get cut bangs and then grow them out again?
It changed so fast. I know. And the crazy thing is she filmed Ever After right after she had that. Like, what?
I know. I don't understand it.
That's why we didn't really see much more, because then she was like wearing a wig for the next how many months. But I also have a special place in my heart for that look, and specifically because of Jane. But I've always loved it for some reason.
Yeah. I always associate that one with you, Anne.
Yeah, and kind of also like that whole period, I guess, from then up until I guess like April 1998 with the flower in her hair, and like the January 98 picture where it's kind of shaggy but still with bangs, even though the other photos around it don't have bangs, which is so weird.
Yeah.
I guess when you've got professional hairstylists, they can kind of make anything work.
Must be.
I know. But I love those looks. And then my other favorite that I pointed out, I mean, there's so many, but I love the, like, similar to what you said, Ash, with the ombre 2010 kind of thing. But I liked the February 2011 picture that you have on the timeline, where it's like a little bit grown out and a bit more, I don't know, casual, grungy kind of look.
Yeah, and that look in that particular picture is like her. I think like there's pictures of her with Will, I think, walking.
Yeah, and I think she's like in a skirt and tights.
Her whole look is so cute. All right, so I'm going to jump in with mine. I'm the other slice of bread on the other side.
Yours are really surprising choices from you. Sarcasm.
I was like, not at all. So my first, I'm going to go ahead and go with the 1994 kind of Mad Love filming era. Yeah, so I love the way her hair looked in that movie.
It is so good.
Yeah, and I love kind of like through the pixie stuff. I don't love all the pixie stuff, but I just love her and her hair at that point.
Ooh, I need to know, what pixie stuff do you not love?
When her hair was like really spiky.
Yeah, like the very beginning of 95.
Yeah, I don't really love like February 1995. But then like by April, it's like, I think it's just the way it was styled. I like it when it's softer. Like I love December 94, not so much February 95. And then I like again, like the April 1995.
Yep, I gotcha. I kind of agree with that.
I also like how all of mine are like in order, because then I'm like, all right, then the black hair from 1996, which any clipping, anything of her with that hair, I'm just like drooling. Like, I think she looks so cute. And then we recently came across those ones from her birthday that are in that book that I still haven't gotten.
Oh no.
I know. So anyway, yeah, black hair, no surprise to anyone who knows me. I did have black hair in high school. I can't necessarily say that it was inspired by her, but it wasn't not inspired by her.
Like subconsciously. That's definitely one of my honorable mentions. I absolutely have a real love for, I think maybe because it's such a brief period and she never really had it again. I don't know. It's really special.
Yeah, it is real special. Okay, so now I know what we kind of teased a little bit about things we've copied. Should we jump into like pointed things that we've copied?
Yeah. So when I was reading Tess's notes, something triggered a memory in me of this one particular hairstyle. So I didn't copy Drew's hair as much as you guys, because I'm a little less adventurous. I always have had long hair. It's always been blonde, some shade or another. In 2000, she hosted this special on TV called AFI's 100 Years, 100 Laughs. And she had her hair in this kind of like big updo with flowers on the side, and I fully tried to copy that a couple times that summer. I found a few pictures. I'm including my most successful one, but my hair was so thick and I like had no idea how to put it up like this, so I remember it was like falling down all night. Not that great. But I think I like went to the store and bought the flowers to put in. Like, it was a whole thing. I was really going for it.
Yeah. I think it looks really cute, that picture with your friend.
I really love that hairdo.
And then, of course, in early 2003, when her and Cameron Diaz were photographed by some paparazzi, and Drew suddenly had blonde hair and it had extensions and was long and wavy, as we later would see in 50 First Dates, I was like, yes, I am ready to go really blonde. My hair was pretty ashy blonde at that point. And I took that clipping to the hair salon, and that was like my journey into the color that I still have today.
Nice. So you literally were like, all right, I'm going blondie blonde.
Yeah, it inspired me, like truly inspired me.
I don't think I realized that.
Oh yeah, like fully brought the clipping in, which you guys both have done. That was the only time I've ever done that. And it took a while to like understand how to get to the right shade. It was a little brassy for a while, but it's at a place I'm happy with. But the origin is all right there in that one photo.
That's amazing. Okay, so Tess, I see you've got quite a list, which I love.
Oh, love.
Okay, peanut butter. Let's hear about your hairstyles that you copied.
Peanut butter. I just got that like peanut butter jelly
time.
Yes, so I know, like I said earlier, Drew's hair is like a gateway drug into Drewbie-dom for me.
Love that.
So this that's why I have so many examples. But it's funny, when I was looking back through photos, I was trying to identify, like, was this a Drew hairstyle for me? And I think a lot of it was kind of just more I was inspired by the vibe rather than a specific hairstyle. But I definitely would take in my clippings to the hairdresser. So yeah, the Herbert's profile pic, was it from 1993? Was that the year?
Yeah, that's when it was taken. Yep.
Yeah. That, and you've talked about so much.
Yes.
I took that one in, I think, when I sort of first went short. And that was when I was in my final year of high school in 1998, which I think is when this picture was taken. And
So
this had grown out a little bit, but
I would definitely see somebody. If I saw you on the street, I would be like, oh, that's inspired by Drew. Like, you nailed it.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So cool. I wore that daisy clip so much.
Oh, we all had our little daisy jewelry.
No, I'm so sad I don't know where that is, because I would totally still wear it. But yeah, that was, I think, the first one that I sort of did. I did a lot of 1995 era Drew hair when I was looking back. So like, especially the picture on the timeline that's September 95. To me, I look at that and I'm like, that I have photos like that of me, like that kind of texture of hair and length of hair. I had bangs, or as we call it, a fringe, when I was a young child. And at this time I didn't, but then I recut the bangs maybe like 15 years ago, and I've had them ever since. So, she sometimes has bangs, sometimes doesn't. But yeah, that like short blonde, and I used to do my own bleaching of my hair.
Yeah, me too. And it just did not go well. Actually, Anne used to do it for me for a while.
Oh, that's right.
I had no idea what toner was. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can see in this picture that I've got this like orangey tone. I think that's because my hair was black.
Yes.
In like for a little while, and so then it like I cut it and I bleached it and it went that color, and then I like bleached my roots and they went lighter, and then I had darker. It was like so crazy.
Adventures.
Yeah, but I remember doing it because you're a poor teenager. I remember doing it at home and like mixing the peroxide and the powder together, and like one time was combing it out in the shower when I was washing it out, and there was like hair pulp coming off on the comb. It was
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, so generally a lot of putting flowers in my hair as I had a whole range of, I would buy like artificial flowers that usually came on like a garland, and I would like cut them off, and then I would pin them in or stick them in my hair. Oh my gosh,
yeah. So I guess I forgot to mention that the flowers in the hair was a big thing for me. Like, anytime I like saw a cute little wildflower, I'd like pick it and put it behind my ear. Yeah, that was totally inspired by Drew.
Yeah. But yeah, the other photo that I have is I'm pretty sure I was inspired by her like Batman Forever look. So it's like very curly, very peroxided hair. And this was at my year 12 formal, which is like prom. And for some reason decided to go as a fairy. I really don't remember why. But my mum made well, my mum made this dress, and I actually remember the dress was inspired by Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Oh my gosh, because it's that like shiny material. Yes. Yeah. So late 90s.
Yeah, they have like lame kind of, but I couldn't find exactly that fabric, but it was kind of that vibe.
Hey, that's a Mona May costume design who we spoke to. That's so cool. It's full circle.
Yeah, throwback moment. So cool. But yeah, the sort of the ringlets, and I that was like sleeping in hair rollers.
Oh era. Yeah, sponge curlers.
Yep. You know it.
Amazing.
But I can totally see the Batman Forever inspiration there. Like it's so platinum and the curls.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but that was 1998. And then both of those were. So I guess the second one, my hair had just grown out a little bit.
See, your hair does grow fast.
Lies, all lies. Yeah, but the flowers, and I know it's not hair, but I used to draw a star on my cheek a lot.
Oh, dude, I have definitely talked about that. Stars and hearts, totally copying Drew.
Totally Drew. And I have this picture of me getting the Donnie Darko DVD for my birthday and like pointing at the picture of Drew on the cover.
So cute.
Which is hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that you have to be like, and there she is. This is why I have it. She's on this cover.
And is that your phone sitting on the table there?
Oh,
yes. It's like a Nokia with a Daisy like case on it.
Yes. I can't believe you noticed that. I didn't even notice that, but yeah. No, you can share any of them. Like I said, I have a lot of grace for my younger self now, even though it's like cringy to look at myself.
We all get it.
I know. And then, and so then sort of fast forward to later in life. So when I sort of got inspired to do Drew hair again, because I was like just platinum for a long time and had a fringe cut and just did that for a long time. And then I got bored with the upkeep of it. So I decided to go ombre. But I still have the fringe. But so I was definitely inspired by her ombre hair.
Yeah, I could see that. It's so pretty.
What I've learned is that not all hairdressers can do ombre. I've been to several, but some of them do not do a good job of it. But I did have a hairdresser who did a good job. Yeah. And then actually right before the pandemic, I decided to just get it all cut. I was like, need a change. And so I took in the photos of Drew with that hair that I was talking about earlier, with the like April 97 and a couple sort of around that era where she's got, I don't know if you'd call them baby bangs.
Yeah,
like
I was just going to say
bangs,
that. Yeah, baby bangs for sure. Really cute ones though. Not everybody can pull that off, but you and Drew can rock it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and then the kind of shaggy rest of the hair. So I got it cut pretty short. Then I got it cut short a couple of times, I think. And then I was like, okay, I'm bored of this now. And then it takes forever to grow out, but growing out now. So yeah, that's those are the ones that I have copied.
I love it.
That's awesome. And I feel like, Tess, your hair always looks lovely. Like every time I've been around you, like I'm just like, oh, your hair looks so good. Like I don't know. I feel like you know your hair. I don't know.
Well, maybe I owe all of that to Drew. Drew helped me to know my hair because I just copied her.
I feel like she'd really appreciate that.
So now I'll get into my like basically one and only picture that I've taken to get haircuts. And for a very long time, it never burned me until recently.
Oh.
So the Urbritz profile that Tess mentioned that was taken in 1993, I've taken that to, and I used to go to like Fantastic Sam's, which is like a very like cheap place to get your haircut, like more like a place where people get like $10 men's haircuts. I used to go there and I would take it and like somehow it turned out decent with that picture. Recently though, I took it in and like they kept not going short enough. And I'm like, come on, like in the picture, you can see where the hair is like, you know, a short.
Copy the damn picture.
Yeah. Look at the picture again. But yes, that hair, because the thing that makes it perfect for me is that it like is long enough to tuck behind the ear. I'm like such a low maintenance gal that I need it to be like, I can wake up with my texture, which again is similar to Drew's. It'll be kind of fine if I just like fluff it up a little bit. And if I need to tuck it behind my ears, I can. So it's like always been perfect. And anytime it gets to like a little bit longer, I'm like, I need to take that profile picture in. Like it's time. Yeah, so that's literally my only answer because I've done it for like the past 20 years over and over and over again.
Which is incredible. I mean, there's a reason why that's like the photo of her. Actually, totally coincidentally, I just shared with Anne, there's a hairstylist who showed that picture on their account and said like, this is the one that I always use for reference. So it's not just you guys.
Yeah.
It's just such an iconic picture.
It really is.
I think if you're like going to pick one as the ultimate Drew photo, that's the one. And I think she would probably choose it as well.
Well, and the Barrymore profile.
Here
goes.
I think we should mention that Drew does currently, I think, have a hair tools line, flower hair tools.
I still get emails.
Okay, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I stopped getting them, and I noticed their Instagram hasn't been updated since like June. So I was like, what's going on? But yeah, she originally started it for her Amazon line, Dear Drew, and then they rebranded it as Flower Hair Tools, and they're really cute items. One of the things that Drew was really invested in was that the cords would be colored and pretty to look at, so you could have them on your counter and it wouldn't be an eyesore. Oh my goodness, why do you have to talk so much when I'm talking? But yeah, so we can link to that. You guys are probably familiar with it. The promo photos for that are some of my favorites.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. And speaking of Barrymore profile, there's the one that looks just like that poster of her grandfather that we gave her. We'll do a little side by side.
They're really fun. I love the like hero image on the website. It's so fun. I haven't got any of these. I mean, they don't sell them here, but I always assume that they're just not going to be the right voltage, but it actually says they're dual voltage. So in theory,
look at you. I didn't even know that's a thing.
I don't have any tools because, as I've said, I'm like the most low maintenance gal.
I do have one, and I've only used it a couple times because ever since having the baby, I've become extremely low maintenance as well. I'll get back to caring about what I look like eventually.
But Drew will still promote all your brands.
Yep. Whether we're using them or not. Blind loyalty.
Yes.
What do we all think of Drew's current hair look, which she kind of found a few years ago, probably more than a few, and has just sort of settled in on like, this is it for me. I'm happy. It's easy. And I'm committed to this look.
I love long and wavy on her because like I also do long and wavy. Yeah, you do too. I mean, I love her hair when it's a bit blonder personally. Yeah. But like, I like doing natural. I've gone back to a lot more of my natural color as well. And I get it, so I don't know. I love this on her.
Yeah, I really like it right now, especially like the style. It's no secret. I do like her blonde as well. I think it would just like, I would be so excited if she just suddenly changed it out of nowhere like she used to, because that just doesn't happen anymore. But like objectively on its own, I think it is really beautiful and works well for her.
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate, basically. I think I've told you many times, Ashlet, I'm just like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think it is her natural color. I think she's like leaning into something that like fits her face and her vibe so well. Like she's not really in that exploring part of her life. Although like you guys are saying, like, it'd be fun to like see a little bit of a change. I've heard Jolena also say like, I wish you would go blonder. So it's funny you guys are like all kind of pushing that. I'm just like, I think I feel like it feels low maintenance in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's like her persona on her show. I mean,
yeah,
her persona on her show is her. Like, obviously.
Yes.
I think her hair is kind of relatable at the moment. And, her, like on the show, she's so relatable. It kind of goes hand in hand with that. But I also think maybe because she's not acting at the moment, or at least not very much. Like she doesn't have to change her hair for roles.
That's a good point, because that was always such a big part of it for her, was like, when you have a new role, you got to change your whole look. And yeah, you're right. Yeah. She's not playing a part anymore. She's just herself.
That's so true.
Good observation.
I mean, and she said like, she spent all this time being other people, and now she gets to be her for her show. So I think we're coming to the point where we understand like that's exactly what's happening.
We just get her.
She's just embracing it. Drew, if you're listening, sure, go ahead and go more blonde. Go black if you want. But yeah, if you come back to this, we'll be perfectly happy with it.
And the thing about hair is like it grows back.
Yeah, it's always temporary.
Like, yeah, and it's just an area that you can really have fun with. So I mean, I also wish that I'd like to see her more with like flowers in her hair,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I was looking back on and thinking about how much I used to do the flowers, I was like, why don't I do that anymore? And part of it is because I have the fringe and it's not as easy to just like pin up, I used to pin up the front of it and put flowers in a lot, but like your picture, Ashley, like you can put it, I often put my hair up in a bun, like you can stick some flowers in, and I was like,
why don't I do that
anymore?
I
know,
wear
I
buns a
should.
lot. Okay, we're all gonna get inspired. And before we forget, I do want to mention Drew's awesome hairstylist, Mr. Daniel Howell. He does her hair for the show. He's been working with her for years and years and years. He does a lot of events and photo shoots, and he's just like seems like the sweetest guy. And we should give him thumbs up and applause for the work he does on the show and making her hair look as beautiful as we just described.
Yay, Mr. Daniel. I love how she always calls him that.
I know, it's so cute.
Mr. Daniel. So that kind of wraps up our Drew and hair convo. And Tess, this was so fun.
So good.
So glad we finally made this happen. Like months of planning, and we finally did it.
Yep.
Do you want a third host? No, it's been really fun.
You want that peanut butter all the time?
You can't have too much peanut butter, just have little bits of it here and there.
I don't know. I could have a lot of peanut butter.
No, you are definitely going to come back. Like, think about maybe like a certain movie that you would love to talk about, like anything in particular that you're like, oh, you guys haven't covered this.
Yeah.
You can shout it out like the baby is.
No, thank you so much for having me on. This was awesome. I had so much fun.
Oh, Tess, is there anything you want to plug? Is there anywhere people should find you?
I do have a website, tessneedham.com. And I blog there every time I get a chance. I work full time and I'm a mom, so I don't have a lot of time. I'm not really on socials anymore, but that's, if you want to see, I have pretty much everything there. I make comics and take photos and write and stuff like that.
Okay, we'll link to it on the episode page.
A real Renaissance woman.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And I do voiceover acting if you ever need an Australian accent.
That's why she sounds better than us right now.
Oh, I know, your voice is so lovely. We saw her set up before we started recording. We were like, whoa, you are the pro here.
We just kind of threw some gear together, all minus like secondhand from my brother. Like, here, plug this in. This should work great.
It's all good. It all works.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for this really fun talk. Just thank you, Tess. And if anybody really was inspired by how awesome and fun we are together, go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and tell us how much you loved hearing our peanut butter Aussie friend. And then we can also be found on Instagram at How Do You Drew Pod. We'll share some of Drew's hairstyle looks there and maybe some of Tess's pictures, either there or on the episode page. We also have at Drewism, where we share other stuff like that Charlie's Angels Full Throttle set photo we referenced earlier and all kinds of Drew things.
Yes. And I will plug one more time that we started our Patreon. So check that out at patreon.com/howdoyoudrew. Don't forget to visit our website at howdoyoudrew.com to make sure you see our episode page with lots of fun flashback photos of Tess. And we'll probably share some old photos of us with Tess.
We must.
You guys were talking recently about this Scream photo, so I had to dig it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
At her star, at Drew's star.
Yeah.
Thank you for pulling all those out. It's so cool. Send listener mail to howdoyoudrewpod@gmail.com. Tell us what hairstyles you copied or what your favorite hairstyles are.
Love it, please.
And I'm going to have a question to take us out this time. For both of you, Ashley and Tess, what is your favorite sandwich?
I am like a veggie. I'm a vegetarian, no meat. So that's why we were laughing about that earlier. So I love just like, give me some lettuce, give me some yellow mustard, give me avocados, cheese, lots of cheese, and pickles. And then that's like, I'm good. I am. Ooh, that sounds so good right now.
Yeah, my stomach just rumbled.
What about you, Tess?
Well, I just realized that I should have been Vegemite in the sandwich instead of peanut butter. Oh, it's all good. I do love Vegemite on a sandwich, but I'm also, I'm a pescatarian, so I'm like vegetarian plus fish. But I just I don't eat a lot of sandwiches, but I really love like a like caprese salad, but on a sandwich.
That's absolutely one of my favorites too.
Yeah. So like tomato, like bocconcini or something like that. Some like basil and some sort of like balsamic kind of saucy thing, and like toasted on sourdough kind of situation.
You're killing me right now.
I know it's lunchtime here and I'm so hungry.
It's almost 10 p.m. here and I'm like, I got to make my grocery list for tomorrow. I'm like, tomatoes, tomatoes. I'm going to put mozzarella. I'm going to put basil.
Some really good bread.
Yes. And I'm going to just go ahead and say my favorite is a peanut butter and jelly because when I go back to it, I'm just so happy.
Oh, I know. Every time I have one, I'm like, why don't I have these more often? I always toast mine, though. I like it on toast.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm a crunchy sort of person, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I have to say, I think slightly prefer peanut butter with honey as opposed to.
Oh, that's what Mila likes. She doesn't like jelly. She does peanut butter and honey. Yeah.
Honey and bananas is a really good honey, bananas, and peanut butter.
Yeah. I don't like bananas, but that's the thing.
Oh, guys, I'm real hungry. I just
I'm so hungry.
We better wrap this up. Time to eat. All right. Thank you again, Tess. I love doing this with you. We got to do it again very soon. You'll be a reoccurring guest, no question.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye. This episode of the How Do You Drew podcast was researched and produced by Ashley and Ann from thedrewseum.com with help from our sponsor, Positive Medium.
Special thanks to Matt Costa for our lovely theme song, Roxy Prima for our adorable logo, and last but not least, Drew Barrymore and all the Drewbies who love her. We do this for you.
Thank you.